Hi YouTubers, second video of the day, so it's the same up again. So I don't actually own more clothes than this. Anyway, I saw Kung Fu Panda 3 the other day, and I thought I'd quickly share what my opinion was of this absolutely fantastic film. I'm a fan of the Kung Fu Panda series. So, right, where to begin? Set at least a good 2 years, I think, after the second one, and it has the value piece at peace, obviously, and everything's all going well. Po gets a promotion to become the new Dragon Master, and will be the one in charge. Where Master Chief retires and tries to find inner peace, which he's been trying to get for the last 2 films, but obviously with Po as a student, that's like nigh impossible. So Po basically screws that up, as acquires self-confidence as he normally does, and yeah, and his long lost father shows up, voiced by Bryan Cranston, and I know who he is. I saw like 3 episodes of Malcolm in the Middle, and I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I know he's a very good actor. I just never seen Breaking Bad. Great voice though. He has a great voice. At the same time, in the spirit realm, Master Oogway has been captured by a character called Kai, which means light and other things in Japanese, and yeah, and his chi has been captured. So essentially, Kai is collecting chi like we go around collecting Pokemon. I've been trying to get this into a video. Collecting Pokemon, so with enough chi he can come back to the real world, to China, and bring forth world devastation and domination and make everyone bow down to me. Just like that. So Po needs to find chi, and he finds out that his long lost father, that he's, okay, I'm spoiling this now, he's lying through his goddamn teeth, because due to this thing that happened several years ago with Master Oogway was injured, and through chi he was healed, and he became all peace and enlightenment and, you know, grasshopper. Fine, that's not too bad. So Po leaves with his father, Panda father, and his real father, who is Mr. Ping, since Mr. Ping raised him since the age of, 1. Tags along, stays away in the basket, and yeah, and then Kai comes back to the village of Peas and pretty much destroys it. But they know about this and manage to evacuate everyone, so there's actually no fatalities. That's a good thing. So I'm really, really thirsty doing these vids. Sorry, I know, of my long vids I often have a can of Coke handy. So, breaking it down like this. Fathers have to reconcile with sons. Sons have to get to know fathers. Other fathers have to reconcile their own jealousy about the situation. Po needs to learn chi, otherwise he's screwed. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Everything that can happen does happen, but it's genius how it's done, so it's for big over there. Now, what makes this film interesting is the fact that it is not scared to tackle some serious issues, especially about identity. You have this subplot going on, mainly with Mr. Ping. Now, Mr. Ping, Po's father, he's kind of been, I don't know, stereotype, he loves his son. The first thing you know about Mr. Ping is that he loves Po dearly. However, you get to see that, yes, he is jealous. He's jealous of Po's panda father. He's jealous of the situation, but he's very, very open to it and accepting, and there's a beautiful moment where the film stops to take a breath. At the moment when the film stops, action stops, characters have conversations, it lets the audience catch up what's going on, and it's the breather moment. This is one of the most beautifully written, eloquent breather moments I have ever seen in an animated film, or even in any film. Just 2 fathers sitting there talking about their son, coming to terms with what happened, with Lord Shen and his actions, and it's just this moment of bonding. They both love Po. They're jealous, but they love their son. And Po, to his credit, brilliantly voiced by Jack Black, at no point do you doubt his love for both his fathers. The father he has to know and the father who raised him. He openly says, my dad's. I have 2 fathers. To him it is not like, who's my father? They both are. In so many films, there would have been an issue, a crisis, an identity thing. No, because the writers recognise that we, the audience, we will probably see Mr. Ping more as Poe's father than Panda, and this Panda guy. So, his name is Lee, incidentally. I keep calling him Panda Dad. His name is Lee. So, that I will give credit to. One thing I loved about this film is every single character gets more development. Mrs. Sifu, Shifu, okay. He is a lot more relaxed. He is smiling. He seems to take his retirement and his pursuit of his own inner peace with grace. It gets a lot of comical moments, and that was absolutely lovely. But he's still a total little badass. And I'll get to something else that happens later on. The Furious 5 get more development than they have in the last, especially the last film. Honestly, when I saw the second one, I was like, did they really speak? You have Jackie Chan as Monkey, and I swear to God he didn't say a word. I'm probably wrong on this, but I can't remember him speaking at all. Not like a proper conversation. So, every single member of the Furious 5 gets more development. Tigress gets the most, because I'm a Poe Tigress shipper, incidentally. Okay, probably obvious. You know, they have more to do. They have motivation. A lot happens which kind of puts it to the edge. I should say this now. Essentially, Kai's ability is to turn people into jade zombies or zombies. And he captures the Furious 5, apart from Tigress, who managed to escape and get to the Panda Village to recruit Poe in rescuing them. That is some fantastic animation, and it kind of like, Poe's got so much at stake now. He has his family to save. The Furious 5 are his family as well. He's got them to save. This family theme runs through this entire film. It's beautiful. However, I got one issue. Okay, not just one, I got a couple. Okay, sorry, another one of these. I'm talking way too much. The first film was Poe's identity crisis, because he was the only panda in this village, which we didn't really notice at the time because we were just kind of, Kung Fu Panda. It's a great film, and it was kind of DreamWorks really kind of breaking out of Pixar's shadow. It was doing something original, something that, was, at the time, really, I think, kind of wide Pixar. With its storytelling, animation, cultural as well. However, sometimes it feels like a little bit too much of that. Poe in the first film had identity crisis because he wanted to be someone. He was at loss to who he was. He didn't feel special. And then by chance, well not chance, he became the Dragon Warrior and learned to believe in himself. Wonderful. Second film was about him reconciling his own reconciliation with his past and his family and knowing who he is. First film, he's a Dragon Warrior. Second film, he knows who he is. He is a man who is loved. He's with his friends, his family, especially his father. He knows who he is. His last line of the film was, "I know who I am, I'm your son." So you think, okay, so he knows who he is now. Third film, having to become the Dragon Master and become the teacher of the Furious 5. His crisis again at times was like, do you really, after this point, after all you've done, still have an identity issue about who you are, Poe? So, yeah, that was a little bit... Another issue was they go to the Panda Village, and Poe is obviously the Dragon Warrior, the Master. He is everything that he should be. But now he has to learn to become a panda. Now, the Panda Village, especially look, pandas are very, very cute. But it feels like we're wasting time with this. Essentially, to be a panda, you do subtle. You don't see them outside walking in the fields. You don't see them, having a proper community spirit. You basically see them fucking about. And doing nothing. And roll in the hay. Stupid, okay? You should be rolling down a hill. And the worst thing is Poe's kind of caught up in this. Every time he says to his father, his panda father, Lee, I need to learn chi, it gets kind of fobbed off because... Lee's lying his arse off. Yeah. that needed a bit more urgency to it. It needed Poe to kind of become a bit more adult, a bit more dynamic. Teach me this. Teach me what's going on. And not till towards the end of the film, it kind of, yeah, it kind of fell apart slightly with that. Another issue I have, once again being a Poe Tiger shipper, is Mei Mei. She was clearly set out to become a love interest of Poe's. That's kind of obvious, okay? She is this ribbon dancer. She's voiced by Kate Hudson in a role that was clearly written for Rebel Wilson, but she couldn't do it. I love Kate Hudson. I find this character annoying. Maybe because Poe Tiger shipping or whatever, I just do not like you, Mei Mei. You just annoyed me. You're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Fuck off. Did not like her. And also, another issue with this film is that the villain is the most underdeveloped villain of any Kung Fu Panda film. With Tai Lung in the first one, you saw his flashback, you saw his motivation. With Lord Shen, you saw what pushed him to becoming what he was. And it was tragic. Third one, with Kai, voiced by J.K. Simmons, the only villain not voiced by a Brit. He was friends with Oogway. He saved Oogway's life. Oogway basically embraced inner peace. Kai didn't understand, and Kai wound up being banished to the spirit world, because he went on a rampage against his friend. True, but at the same time, it kind of underdeveloped. They have a wonderful battle at the beginning, which tried to set things up, but for a film that kind of explores its characters, it didn't really explore Kai. Brilliantly done, and voiced with such venom by J.K. Simmons. I loved him, but very, very underdeveloped. However, this film has a magnificent soundtrack. It is full of traditional Chinese music. It is brilliantly animated. Some of the animation just blew my head away. These films are a labour of love, and there's so much colour and detail and style in this film. With CGI, the issue is a CGI film can date, but the story's strong, it won't. This won't date. It is absolutely beautiful. So, and the character development that we see is astounding. However, one more issue. This film brings in a discrepancy about Poe's age. That is a big issue. Okay, going back, sorry, once again, I first day doing these. Okay, Kung Fu Panda 1. It is said that 30 years ago, Tai Lung lay waste to the valley. So, that's 30 years. That would indicate that Tigress is probably about a year or two younger. So, or maybe she's even 30. I kind of got the impression through this lies. 30 years ago, Tai Lung lay waste to the valley. Second film, Lord Shen says to Poe, you've waited 30 years for this. Meaning that Poe's 30. Okay, fine, Poe's 30. I didn't get the impression that he was 30. And then I got the impression that he was actually in like his early 20s, just from his dialogue. Third film, Lee says, I've been looking for my son and I pretty much haven't seen him in 20 years. Shit, that means Poe is 20 years old. Maybe pushing 21. He's 20. What the hell? So if you put these films at Poe actually canonically now being 20 instead of 30, that would mean he was chosen by Oogway when he was probably about 17 or 18. Now that kind of changes Poe's, well, as an audience, Poe's mentality, because you get the impression that he's older than a teenager. But if he had become the Dragon Ball as a teenager, well, it kind of justifies a lot of things, but a lot of things how others treat him, it doesn't justify how they treat him. That would pretty much turn, like, when Shifu was berating him all the time, in the first one, probably he was an arsehole, probably makes him now the biggest dick in Kung Fu Panda history. Same with everyone. Because if he's older, so he's now younger than the Furious 5, their treatment of him was like, God man, you're basically bullying a child. So that is confusing me. How old is Poe? Is he 20 or 30? Now, not that it matters, But I don't know. I like to have this properly established. Maybe in the next film, someone celebrates Poe's birthday and says, "Happy 22nd or 23rd birthday," just to kind of establish how old you are. It's a weird gripe, but it's still a gripe. Another thing I find a bit kind of disconcerting is it turns out that Poe is a chosen one, and that his father was looking for him. Basically, this was all down to Uguay. Uguay was saved by the pandas and the tree many years ago. He saw Poe and realised this is like the connection between inner peace and the balance of, I don't know, let's say the force, okay? Yeah, at the same time, that if this is kind of like Poe's destiny, it kind of makes him feel a bit like a puppet, you know? You are the chosen one because A, you're panda, B, because you were there, because the universe sent me a message. I don't really like prophecies because it turns characters into puppets without any free will. So, but hey, that sounds like a weird gripe, so I'm going to kind of leave it there. Right, well, my camera turned itself off, so I had to quickly put it on my laptop, then do this another half. Okay, so where was I? Okay. Another issue with this film is as soon as Tigress gets to the panda village and explains that all the dragon warriors have been turned into zombies, Poe finds out that Lakachi has it out of his father, his panda father, but Poe has to train his pandas, kind of rediscover their inner chi, if you will, and also now teach them kung fu. Now, yeah. Problem is this now turns into the Three Amigos. Now, if I've ever never seen this film, it's a great film with Martin Short, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and it's a great film. But it's about these characters who have to teach these Mexican village how to fight, using that skills that they have. It turns into too much of that. It's a beautiful montage where he teaches them about how their skills that they have, how to use Kung Fu. But it came across like the Three Amigos. That is a gripe, but it kind of like, oh, seriously? I literally just kind of shook my head at this. It was too much like the Three Amigos. However, it leads to Kai making his way to the hidden panda village and having it out with Poe. Now, obviously, in the first film, they used the Wuxi finger hold to banish the villain back to the spirit realm, and Tai Lung has actually seen, I did notice this, he has actually seen on the guy's belt. Kai carries his Pokemon zombie things on a belt, and I swear to God, I saw one that looked a bit like Tai Lung. I could be wrong, but you'd actually see Tai Lung in the film, which I thought was a shame, because at least it would have been a nice connection. And I'm sure Ian McShane would have come back just to voice that quickly. But I went a bit distracting between a villain and a better villain, because Tai Lung was a great villain. However, finding out that the Wuxi finger hold doesn't work on the villain, because he's dead, technically, Poe, in a very, very original twist, now we'll give it that, he uses it on himself to go to the spirit world. Poe has now got to the point where he will sacrifice himself for the greater good. He has matured. He is now an adult. He'll do the right thing. And that is Poe's defining thing throughout the entire film trilogy. He'll always try to do the right thing. He didn't even want to kill Lord Shen because he doesn't want to kill. Unless it's, the only thing he can do. I mean, we thought that Tai Lung was dead, but he was back to the spirit realm or an sort of body. So, hey. That leads to one of the most beautiful bits of animation ever in the spirit realm. It's magnificent just to see that Poe, brand new to the spirit realm, doesn't really know the rules, but he kind of, being Poe, makes it up as he goes along, fights back, and the Captain Planet reference, heart is the most greatest power of all. This, in the other realm, is a catalyst for all the pandas and Tigress to kind of find their chi. They realise their own inner strength, and their chi helps Poe fight back, gives him strength, wakens up his own chi, and it's beautiful. Especially with Shifu there, Uguay also there. Now, just for this one scene alone, you must see this film. It is magnificent. it's quite funny how chi works in this universe. Now, because Kai's chi was stolen, taken, it was ripped apart, it's physically weak. There's kind of like, it's like a defense with it. As if the original owners are fighting back, they're not giving up to their full potential. With Poe's chi, as it was given, it's being passed on beautifully. It's their own chi, they're giving it to him. Being its own chi, it's done out of love. Hey, love is a great emotion. That's pushing it on. That's more powerful. But for all this, Poe is still quintessential Poe. He's fighting back against a bad guy in a spirit world, but he's still Poe. He's still cracking jokes. He's still being himself. And I always believe that Poe's constantly cracking jokes is like his defense mechanism, like with Peter Parker's and Spider-Man. The harder his nerves, he cracks jokes. That kind of works here, because for all the villains, they don't expect, a wisecracking, very sarcastic, but still lovable Panda to be their protagonist. But there is one thing I did notice. Uguay said naturally that obviously he can't come back, but he didn't actually say that. Now the thing is, if you can go into the spirit world, and Uguay looks quite content there. He looks very content with his inner peace, and he looks very, very happy. Before he was, before he was kidnapped, and his chi ripped out. A sequel hook. What if he can come back again? Third film, fourth film, and they're making it fourth film sequel hook. Now, I'm talking about character development. Now, Tigress, out of the Furious 5, she gets the most development here, but her character is totally loosened up. She's smiling, and she also shows off her maternal side. That was actually alluded to in the Kung Fu Panda Christmas special, where you see her like feeding a child, which is a fantastic, and I think it is on YouTube. It's a Kung Fu Panda holiday special, which is absolutely beautiful, and it's set between the first and second film as well, which you see a slight maternal side with Tigress. Will come to the fourth here, with this kind of adoption, if you will, of a little panda cub. And this sounds so, okay, this is like fan fiction fuel here, but our Poe Tigress ship, as I already said, obviously Panda and a tiger, but we never see this panda's parents. I can't remember her name top of my head, but she's adorable. I'm kind of hoping that in full film, these guys are kind of settled down and raising this little panda cub together. There's not too much to ask for as a fan. And I haven't checked with fan fiction or AO3 or fan fiction there, but I bet that's there. Where they okay? It can't be the only things like this. So, her character development, showing her more maternal side, showing her as part of a team, showing her as accepting. That's actually really, really nice to see. I like seeing that side of Tigress. I like to see her softer side. When she does show it, and she showed it a lot in the second film, it's beautiful to see. There's one scene in the second film where she mentions how, hey, the heart of her mentions, okay, that she can't break, she can't feel pain. Well, she can, and she does. And this kind of shows it. So, hoping to see that for the fourth film. I'm hoping to see development between Poe's dads, and I am really, really hoping to see Uguay come back, because that would just be fantastic. So, once again, you must see this film. It is beautiful. So, anyway, thanks for watching my second part of this video, because my original one stopped. And now I'm officially, after I think about half an hour talking, I reckon, I am signing off. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Sign off. Take care. Bye now.